This video is brought to you by Dennis Hilleman and the Law of the Future community. Keep up to date with law and technology and join the Law of the Future community for free. Go to www.lawoffuture.club. Digital avatars are rapidly becoming a major part of our lives, both in terms of their technological capabilities and the ethical and legal questions they raise. They are not just computer programs or figures, but also a way to create a digital replication or second life for someone who has passed away. In this blog post, we will explore what a digital avatar is, the ethical and legal implications posed by their use, and the potential benefits of digital avatars. We will then look at the steps that should be taken in order to address the ethical and legal challenges posed by digital avatars. Finally, we will summarize the main issues, and provide recommendations for further research. Introduction: what is a digital avatar? Before we delve into the legal and ethical considerations of digital avatars, it is important to have an understanding of the fundamentals of how they work, especially when AI is involved. Digital avatars, which are replicas of a person generated by artificial intelligence, AI, technology, have been gaining traction in the world of marketing, e-commerce and customer service. The technology behind AI avatars is advanced and intricate, combining machine learning, IoT, and other areas. AI avatars take data and produce language that sounds natural to the audience, as if a person was speaking or writing it. 3D modeling is also utilized to create ultra-realistic virtual people who can reproduce facial expressions and body movements with accuracy. AI avatars are being utilized in many ways. On websites, clients can access a virtual store set up on the page, where they get the complete shopping experience. On mobile applications, customers can converse with an AI avatar and ask questions about the product. Banks are also adopting AI avatars to help customers with banking requirements. XOXO is one example of an AI avatar. It's a dating app where each user has a digital representation, a totem embodying a certain personality type, to which they are matched with. This totem is a fusion of your proxy, pet and AI associate. AI avatars have become increasingly adept at responding to questions and engaging in dialogue on various topics in a way that appears human-like. They create trust by making direct communication with customers simpler. They have the ability to provide hyper-personalized advice to the purchaser, which make them essential to brands' long-term success. Digital resurrection. Digital resurrection is based on the idea of creating a lifelike digital representation of someone who has passed away. AI algorithms can be used to scan through thousands of images quickly and spot health issues that humans cannot. This technology can also be used to recreate a person's touch, appearance, voice, emotions, and memories. One such example is Hereafter AI, which enables individuals to record stories about themselves and accompany them with pictures, creating an interactive avatar that can communicate with the living. DeepArt and Prisma also take advantage of deep neural networks and machine learning to transform images. The ethical and legal challenges posed by digital avatars of the ED. The ethical implications of using AI to bring the dead back to life must be considered. Let's dive into the ethical and legal challenges. Concerns regarding autonomy and privacy. When it comes to using AI to resurrect the dead in the form of digital avatars, there are many difficult issues surrounding data privacy that must be considered. On the one hand, this technology could allow us to reconnect with our loved ones who have passed away in a new and intriguing way. But on the other, it opens up a range of ethical questions regarding the use of personal data and its potential to be abused. Firstly, there is the potential for misuse of personal data that is collected and processed by AI systems. Even when anonymized, there is the risk of de-anonymizing it or not anonymizing it sufficiently to begin with, which could lead to the exposure of a deceased person's private information. Imagine creating a digital avatar of your loved one, with highly sensitive data, which is then also used by someone who is a complete stranger to you. Secondly, there is the fear that AI systems could incorporate existing biases, such as those related to gender or race. This could result in digital avatars that propagate stereotypes and prejudices, which could be disrespectful to the memory of the deceased. Thirdly, there is the problem of control over AI systems. It can be tough to deploy them in a transparent and safe way. Extra precautions are needed as it can be hard to validate the results of personal data processing with AI. This could mean that digital avatars of a deceased person do not accurately reflect their personality in a way that could cause distress to their family and friends. The use of AI to create digital avatars also raises questions about safety and trust. AI technologies are still relatively new and untested, and there is a risk that they could be used maliciously or without proper oversight. In addition, the question of who owns the digital avatar of a deceased individual may arise. For example, if the one who created their avatar is not the heir, who is? What happens if there are multiple heirs? Who can make the decision to delete or even brand this avatar? An AI-assisted version of a famous actor's digital self could still appear in films in the future. These legal questions are just starting to be considered. The ethical implications. The implications of digital representations of people who are no longer with us is a complex and far-reaching conundrum. It brings up inquiries about the distinctions between life and death, and the privileges of the decedent to be remembered in a certain way. Furthermore, it inquires regarding the consequences of technology on our lives and how we collaborate with each other. The morality of creating digital replicas of deceased individuals is an ongoing debate. On the one hand, these avatars could be used to honor and remember the dead, providing their families with comfort. On the other hand, some view replicating dead people as disrespectful and reducing them to digital forms that can be controlled by those outside the family. Another issue is the potential misuse of digital avatars. For example, false memories or the spread of false information could occur. This leads to questions of who should oversee the regulation of digital avatars and how these rules can be implemented. When it comes to issues of ethics, digital avatars of the departed bring up a host of privacy questions. After all, these avatars are usually built using pictures, videos, and sounds that are deeply personal to the deceased. This raises the question of whether the dead have rights to have their information safeguarded and respected post-mortem. It also queries the rights of their survivors to control access to and use of this data and any digital avatars made using it. Considering the ethical issues that arise from digital avatars of dead people, there are a few concerns to address. For instance, should these digital identities be seen as real people? What regulations should be applied to them, if any? And how can the rights of both the deceased and their families be honored while also preserving individual privacy and the legitimacy of such digital representations? It is difficult to determine how best to respond to these complicated questions. It is essential to take into account all of the relevant facts and implications before settling on any conclusions. It is also necessary to respect the rights of the deceased and their families, while simultaneously protecting people's individual privacy and digital identities. Steps to take in addressing ethical and legal challenges of digital avatars. The first step in resolving the moral and legal complications arising from digital avatars of the dead is to build a set of laws and regulations. Rules need to be put in place to ensure that digital avatars are being managed in an ethical and responsible manner. These regulations should include provisions that protect the privacy of the deceased and their family members, as well as stopping the use of digital avatars for any distasteful or improper activities. Moreover, these rules should be revised whenever new technologies come up or when other ethical or legal issues arise. Along with establishing protocols, it is essential to create an enforcement framework that guarantees that the rules and regulations are obeyed. This framework should include civil and criminal penalties for anyone who disobeys the rules and regulations. Moreover, it must be made obvious that disregarding the rules and regulations will not be taken lightly and will result in serious repercussions. This will discourage potential rule breakers and ensure that the guidelines are followed. Ultimately, there should be concrete rules that dictate the proper use of digital avatars of the deceased. This should include means for the relatives of the deceased to take action if there is any mistreatment of the digital avatar. This system should also provide for legal recourse if the family of the deceased feels their rights have been abused. These measures would ensure that digital avatars of the dead are treated with respect and fairness. Conclusion. In sum, the use of digital avatars of the dead raises complex moral and legal disputes that must be managed before permitting their safe and responsible usage. Appropriate measures to address these questions should include developing regulations, constructing a rigorous enforcement system, and devising a clear system of responsibility. By doing so, we can guarantee that digital avatars of the dead will be employed in a respectful and ethical manner.